Welcome to Day 16, Part 1 of our epic 40-day 2025 Pacific Northwest road trip as we travel to Lava Beds National Monument and hike through lava tubes before heading for our stay at Crater Lake National Park in Oregon. We began the day at Weed, California and traveled the 95 miles to Lava Beds National Monument in Tulelake, California. We spent about 6 hours in the park before heading out to our stay at Crater Lake Lodge in Crater Lake National Park. Here we are just outside of Weed, California. There's Mount Shasta, just coming out of nowhere. And as you look around, it's amazing the amount of mountains. That you see. I guess this is the Cascade Mountain Range. Mount Shasta is a massive snow-capped stratovolcano reaching 14,179 feet in Northern California's Cascade Range. It is the second highest peak in the Cascades. The Shasta, Wintu, and Modoc tribes consider the mountain to be a sacred site and home of the Creator. New Age beliefs cite Mount Shasta as a spiritual vortex of Talos, the hidden underground city inhabited by Lemurians. Traveling to Lava Beds National Monument this morning, and the road there looks like fires had devastated this area earlier. I'm not sure how many years ago, but you can obviously see how much of the forests were taken out here. Some sort of valley. Refuge. And this is the road to Lava Beds National Monument. We're only 8 miles away. And my guess is that it's up in those mountains that are right next to the valley. We're now about 5 miles away from the monument, but we're also following the Tulelake or Lake Tule National Wildlife Refuge. Just seen there.
See, this looks like where you find caves.
Yep. Lava Beds National Monument is located in Tulelake, California, on the flank of the Medicine Lake volcano, the largest volcano by area in the Cascade Range. The park has the highest concentration of lava tubes in North America, with over 800 known caves. The park was established as a national monument on November 21st, 1925, and included more than 46,000 acres. In addition to the 27 developed caves, one can view Native American rock art and visit historic battlefields from the Modoc War. We are now at Lava Beds National Monument in California. Here you can see up what was probably an ancient volcano, I would think, if there were lava beds. And there's the National Wildlife Sanctuary. We've just paid our entrance fee. Well, we showed our card, and we're now driving in through Lava Beds National Monument.
Yeah, you can see the lava.
Yeah.
Lava stuff.
We have our cave permit.
Look it up.
Yeah. And you can see all the lava here. Kind of like Craters of the Moon in Idaho. This is Gillum Bluff, a massive fault scarp located in the northern edge of lava beds. This geologic formation was created by tectonic extension, where a block of the Earth's crust dropped down to form the Tulelake Basin, leaving behind the steep east-facing escarpment seen today. The top layer of the bluff is a 2 million-year-old tuff deposit, making it significantly older than most of the surrounding volcanic flows in the park. The next stop was the Devil's Homestead Overlook, a scenic viewpoint that offers panoramic views of the Devil's Homestead Flow, a massive field of rough, blocky lava that erupted from the nearby Fleener chimneys roughly 10,000 years ago. This is called the Devil's Homestead. With the morning sun and the slight haze, it's tough to see everything.
This is very interesting.
The lava at Devil's Homestead Flow came from the Medicine Lake volcano, a massive shield volcano in the Cascade Range. The entire Cascade Range is the result of tectonic plate movement, specifically the Juan de Fuca plate subducting beneath the North American plate. This process causes the mantle material to melt into magma, which then rises to the surface as lava. Medicine Lake volcano formed from many dispersed, low-energy eruptions of very fluid lava. This fluid lava flows great distances before cooling, creating the broad, gently sloping shape of the volcano and the extensive lava beds in the monument. The surface rocks in the monument are 90% basaltic. The variation in rock types from iron-rich basalt to silica-rich rhyolite is the result of a diverse range of eruptions in multiple small magma chambers rather than a single large one. This plaque honors the Civilian Conservation Corps members who worked on the monument from 1933 through 1942. During their 9-year tenure, they built the roads, trails, campgrounds, and picnic areas still in use today. They opened and developed major caves and conducted tours. The CCC's contributions in making this park accessible and enjoyable are immeasurable. Just imagine all the devastation caused by them when those volcanoes went off. I've always wondered if they had, in places like this, multiple volcanoes erupting at the same time. Our next stop was the Visitor Center. We're at Lava Beds National Monument. We were the first ones to come into the park this morning, but unfortunately, well, I shouldn't say that. There seems to be a huge amount of school children here early in the morning. At the Lava Beds Visitor Center, we first viewed the introductory film, which provides an overview of the monument's history and landscape. We then received a safety screening for white nose syndrome. We obtained the required free caving permit. We also borrowed flashlights from the center. The caves in the cave loop section of the monument are located in a single eruptive lava flow unit issuing from Mammoth Crater on the southern boundary of the park. Lava tubes form during a sustained eruption. Multiple surges in the eruption coat the tube and frequently overflow the tube at weak places in the ceiling, creating upper side passages and even entrances. Side passages may wander quite far from the main flow, create a maze of passages, an example being Catacombs Cave. And we're on the little cave loop to Mushpot Cave. There's so many of the caves that we would never be able to do all of them at the time that we have allotted today. The black glassy rocks are obsidian, a natural volcanic glass. It forms when felsic lava cools rapidly at the Earth's surface, preventing significant crystal growth. Obsidian is extremely rich in silica and has a glassy texture and luster. The first lava tube we hiked was Mushpot Cave. Here we're going into Mushpot Cave. I guess this is the one that might be lighted, but we're going to take our flashlights out. Mushpot Cave is the only lava tube with a built-in electrical lighting system. Mushpot is a beautifully sculptured lava tube. The lighting is subdued and artistic in placement, making a Mushpot tour an adventure in natural art appreciation. It has a total length of 770 feet. The formation at the bottom of the stairs is the Mushpot. It is a relic of upwelling lava near the end of the time the lava flowed. The Mushpot is analogous to the mud pots we observed at Lassen, with the blurping being lava instead of mud. Here is the entrance cave. And the first one appears to be lit. Here we are within the first 50 feet of the lava tube. This is the inside of a lava tube. The next section of the cave is the amphitheater. The seats were not there when we went through.
Hello. He's doing what Zoe does.
Yeah,
He's
two
saying
different
hello.
lizards.
Yep.
The lizards are western fence lizards. Celoporus occidentalis, which is very common in arid regions of the western U.S. and often seen on rocks and man-made structures. The lizard on the right is male and the lizard on the left is female. And this is the view from the visitor center. The next cave we toured was Sunshine Cave. And this one is called Sunshine.
Do not use caves as restrooms. Okay.
Sunshine Cave is one of the shorter caves at 466 feet in length. It is one of the moderately challenging caves. Stooping is required in the main passage, and the back section has floors that are steep, very rough, and somewhat wet. The cave is named for two ceiling collapses that act as skylights, illuminating the interior and allowing lush vegetation to grow in the sunlight. Beautiful hydrophobic bacteria coats the ceiling at the back of the cave, where winter icicles adorn cracks in the ceiling. Here is the entrance to Sunshine Cave. Okay. We're now about to enter the Sunshine Cave. Climb down this almost ladder-like structure. Here you can definitely see it's a lava tube. So that's where we came in from. And that's where we're headed to where the sunshine comes in. Watch, it's bumpy here.
Yeah, and wet.
This is the area of the first ceiling collapse and skylight. So here's one of the parts where it broke through to the open air. This is the second and larger of the ceiling collapses. Note that there is sufficient sunlight to allow for vegetative growth.
Oh, this is very cool.
Here's where it broke through to the sky again. Here we descended the stairs into the lower level of the lava tube. Our next stop was Natural Bridge. The Natural Bridge is a 659-foot-long lava tube segment that is a remnant of a collapsed lava tube that remains intact in certain sections, creating a natural arch-like entrance that let in significant daylight. The cave is essentially a high-ceiling tube with a massive central pillar. Because it is longer than it is wide, it is technically classified as a cave rather than just a bridge. The path to the cave was not marked. I erroneously followed a paved trail across the road from the real entrance to the cave, thinking this path led to a natural bridge rather than a cave. This path instead followed what is known as the deep collapse trench. In reality, our car was parked on top of the cave. This is a path to Natural Bridge. I'm not sure exactly where it is, so we'll see. I don't think this is it. It's the Natural Bridge. But the trail does go on just a little bit more. The Natural Bridge is located on the other side of the hill on the right side of our vehicle. The most spectacular feature of the Natural Bridge area is the deep collapse trench. Located between Natural and Ovis bridges, this trench is too deep and voluminous to be caused by a roof fall of the lava tubes. It shows evidence of having developed from an earlier collapse, after which molten lava lay ponded in a wide lava lake or sluggish stream open to the sky during at least some major periods of volcanism. It was a lowering of the lava lake within the large collapse trench that allowed it to drain and survive as an open cave. I suppose that could be the Natural Bridge. It's just a little bit more of the path, though. I don't know if I'm going over the Natural Bridge now. The deep collapse trench runs between Natural Bridge Cave and Ovis Cave. The bridge I saw at the end of the trail was Ovis Bridge, not Natural Bridge. So I believe that is what's considered the Natural Bridge, although it doesn't go all the way through. Our final cave hike was Sentinel Cave. Sentinel Cave is one of the only lava tubes in the park with two developed entrances, known as Upper Sentinel and Lower Sentinel. The cave passage is approximately 3,280 feet long. Sentinel is a segment of the master tube. It features internal pits, multiple levels, perched side passages, and a beautifully complex skylight area. We're now going to the Sentinel Cave, and apparently it has two entrances. We entered the cave through the upper Sentinel entrance. And this is the entrance to Sentinel Cave. And I guess it's a walkthrough. Now that looks like a real bridge. And here's the entryway. The entrance is a bed of basalt where a tube has previously collapsed. There was a natural arch behind us as we descended down stone stairs, which had resisted the tube collapse on both sides of it. The trail negotiates several large boulders near the entrance. This is the entrance to the cave, where you can clearly see the path that leads through it. Here can be seen the many faces which guard the entrance. Pareidolia, anyone? As we made our way through the lava tube, the only illumination we had was through our flashlights. At this point, we reached some stairs which led to a side passage. This trail diverts from the main passage. It weaves through a thinner side route that avoids the rocky jumble of the primary collapsed tube. At the end of the side passage is a steel catwalk. This walkway with handrails traverses a deep crevasse. At the halfway point through the cave, we reached a metal staircase. At the bottom of the stairs is a modest pillar that gave the cave its name, the Sentinel. Unfortunately, we were not aware of it at the time and missed seeing it. We next came upon a skylight.
You see light.
Here we thought we were at the end, but not quite. There is light at the end, but this is what we thought was the end of the trail, but it's still going on a little bit more. Beams of light began to pour in again from a beautiful skylight. The roof between the two prominent holes in the ceiling forms a delicate natural bridge. We now approach the lower Sentinel Cave entrance. This time the light we observed was the exit. To the end of the walk through lava tube. Thank goodness. We now made our way back to the car, which was parked at the upper Sentinel Cave entrance, an uphill hike. In retrospect, it would have been better to start the hike at the lower entrance. And we got to walk all the way back up there to get to the car. Our next stop was Bunchgrass Overlook, a scenic viewpoint that highlights the park's diverse plant communities, particularly the open juniper and sagebrush woodlands. This is called the Bunchgrass Overlook. There's no information, the signs are missing. This is Hippo Butte, a prominent volcanic cinder cone and highest point in lava beds at an elevation of 5,500 feet. This is Shanshan Butte, a 5,302-foot volcanic cinder cone. It's one of dozens of cinder cones on the northern flank of the Medicine Lake volcano and is named after Old Shanshan, the principal chief of the Modoc people. Our final stop at lava beds was at the Black Crater Thomas Wright Battlefield parking area. So this is Black Crater. There doesn't appear to be a way to get to it, but it's up over there. Oh, there is a path. Unfortunately, we're running a little behind now. I don't think I have time to go that far. The Visitor Center did not have lapel pins. Instead, I purchased a souvenir hiking medallion for my hickory hiking stick. Luckily, I was able to find a spot for it on my hiking stick from previous National Park System adventures. Mary and I thank you for watching Day 16, Part 1 of our 2025 Pacific Northwest road trip, where we visited Lava Beds National Monument in Tulelake, California. This is one of the big surprises of our trip, as we intended it to be a short side trip on our way to Crater Lake. The 5 hours we allotted ourselves is not nearly enough time to fully appreciate the park. We were able to hike 3 of the lava tubes, but did not have enough time to do other hikes in the park or tour any of the historic sites, such as those related to the Modoc War or the nearby Tulelake National Monument, site of a World War II Japanese internment camp. The area warrants a full day minimum. I'm indebted to Liz Wolf, Principal Investigator with the Cave Research Foundation and Lava Beds National Monument, on the Cave Loop project for providing me with cave maps from the National Park Service and the Cave Research Foundation, as well as useful feedback on this video. As someone who has found volcanism to be fascinating since age 9 when I first learned about Krakatoa on the 1966 television series Time Tunnel, I really appreciated the additional information. Mary and I hope you'll join us for Day 16, Part 2, as we travel to Crater Lake National Park in Oregon.